Hey travelers, Mag and I here on day 11 of our trip across the US. Today we're shooting from First Landing Park at the end of Cape Cod. Today we're going to take a leisurely pace through Cape Cod all the way down to the start of our day 12. We actually got pretty far ahead last night, so we're not really going to have a lot to do today. We're going to start into our day 12 route today, which is perfect because that's going to give us a little extra time to explore Boston, which I'm very, very excited about. In the initial part of my plan, I'd hoped that we could come out and see the End Lighthouse and the Long Point Lighthouse in person. Unfortunately, having seen how Aichun did at Chappie Island, I know better than to try and hike out the 3 miles and 5 miles respectively and see those lighthouses. So instead, we got a good viewpoint of both of them from here, and now we're going to start driving back down the coast. It's going to be a nice, easy day where we just enjoy the breezes and cruise along. Let's see what the day has in store. Come on.
When it comes to great beach views, Cape Cod does not disappoint. As we made our way north up the coast and then back down south again, there were beach views at every turn. Every angle offered a new perspective, and each beach area was unique in its own right. As we got closer to Boston again, the beaches became rockier, and you could hear the waves working their way between the rocks with each tidal flow. The best part of the day for Aichun was when we went to the Pilgrim Bark Park. We could see the other dogs awaiting our approach with anticipation. They could barely contain their excitement, greeting Aichun before we even got through the entry gate. Aichun saw a big dog at the other end of the park, so she asked the young one to go get him for her. I don't think she had realized he was quite that big though. One of our first stops as we made our way down the coast was the Fort Hill area. This is a high point adjacent to the old Pilgrim Meeting House. I looked all around though, and you know what? I couldn't find any evidence that a fort had ever been there at all. Personally, I think the Pilgrims were just playing tricks on us. You know, kind of like how that whole Iceland and Greenland naming thing came down. But unbeatable views here, nevertheless. We came across this windmill in Eastham that dated all the way back to 1680. Taking a look at the nearby watering hole, I'm thinking that might date back to the same time as well. Yee. The park also had some other objects that were interesting, to be sure. After we made our way off Cape Cod, we visited the Scargo Tower in Dennis. This 30-foot high tower is located on top of the highest hill in Mid-Cape. You can see all the way out to Provincetown and Plymouth from here. We both really got a kick out of this old English weeping beech tree that we discovered in Yarmouth. It's well over 100 years old. Man, the stories it could tell. When we finally reached Plymouth, we just had to go see Plymouth Rock. It is a must-do in this area. It was kind of funny to see this giant enclosure for this little tiny rock. And then we made our way over to see the Mayflower, just down the way. But which one of these boats could it be? None of these look old enough to be the right one. There we go, that's the one we're looking for. The Mayflower, too, is actually a full-scale reproduction of the original ship the Pilgrims landed in back in 1620. We were a little unsure where to go from there, so we might as well start into our lighthouse hunt. We were able to see Wood's End easily from Pilgrim's First Landing Park. And Long Point only required a short walk down the jetty to view from around the back side of the nearby motel. Sandy Neck certainly lived up to its name, sitting out along the tidal flats. And the only lighthouse we could get close to today was the Scituate Lighthouse, which was currently under construction. Lastly, we managed to spot the Boston Lighthouse just as the sun was setting over a beautiful day in Massachusetts.
Well, travelers, that's a wrap for day 11 of our trip to the US. Today was a pretty darn good day. We went all the way to the top part of Cape Cod and then worked our way back down south steadily through the day. We're now poised just outside of Boston, and we're actually one full day ahead on our schedule, which means instead of getting 1 day in Boston like originally planned, we're going to have 2. And that's fantastic because there's so many things that we want to do and see in Boston that we can really use those 2 days to our advantage. We put on 200 miles today and have covered all the counties in the state. We only have 4 DeLorme pages left in the northeast section, and then we're done with Massachusetts. So a few more days and then some surprises in store over the next couple of days. Stay tuned with us as we wrap up Massachusetts and then begin to go north into Maine. We're looking forward to continue sharing our adventures with you. Like and subscribe and stay tuned for what's next. See you out there.